hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We heard yesterday the personality of Godhead is pure, being free from all contaminations of material tinges. He is the absolute truth and the embodiment of full and perfect knowledge. He is all-pervading, without beginning or end, and without rival. O Narada, O great sage, the great thinkers can know him when completely freed from all material hankerings and when sheltered under undisturbed conditions of the senses. Otherwise, by untenable arguments, all is distorted and the Lord disappears from our sight. Who can know him? One who has no material desires and his senses are under control, they are not disturbed. All problems start when Sanatana Goswami asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who am I? Why do I have to suffer these miseries? From body and mind, always diseases and separation, grief from relatives and from other living entities. They are beating or something. And from natural catastrophes, why I have to suffer all this? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you are Jibo in Bengali. Today I heard Srila Bhakti Sundar Sannyasi Gosai Maharaj of Bhagbazar Guriman. He said, we are Jibo in Bengali pronunciation. Living entity, Jibo. Krishna Nitya Das. We are his eternal servant. When we forget him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, when we forget him means when we turn away from him. We are actually his eternal servant, but we turn away from him and want to enjoy this world in a separate way. We develop separate interest. Naturally, our interest should be satisfaction of Krishna. That is natural and beneficial. But the disease is separate interest from Krishna. Independent, separate interest, let me enjoy. Independent. So we forget Krishna. When we forget Krishna, also we forget our relation with him and our real self. And we come under the influence of Maya and that false ego we have and all false desires and disturbed condition of the senses. Always we are slaves of the senses. We think we will be masters, but we are not masters. We are slaves of Maya, of our senses. All the time they are wanting something, and mind also. So we are all the time slaves. So when we are in this situation, we lose sight of Supreme Lord, who is all existence, all knowledge, all bliss. Immediately when we can turn towards him by the help of his personal associates, those who are always in his service, from them we can get this inclination. Then immediately all problems will be removed when we fully turn towards Krishna and give up all other desires. Then one can know him here it is written, the great thinkers can know him when released from all material hankerings. For that we need sadhu sangha. Bhaktistu bhagavat bhakta sangena parijayate. Sat sangah prapyate pumbih sukriter purva sanchite. You will find in Brihat Naradiya Puran. This is short version of Narad Puran. Narad Puran is big, long one of the 18 Purana, Sattvic Purana, and the short version is Brihat Naradiya. There you will find this verse. One can awaken devotion to Supreme Lord only by the grace of devotee, by association of devotee. Bhaktistu Bhagavat Sangena Parijayate. Sat Sangha Prapyate. Who will get that sadhu sangha? That person. Who? That person. Pumbi, that person. Sukriter Purva Sanchite. Who accumulated enough Sukriti previously. Sukriti means he did some action in this world while we are wandering in this world, which was utilized for the service of Krishna, knowingly or unknowingly. When one accumulates enough, then he will get satsanga, association of devotee. Then by that sangha, he can become inclined to serve Krishna, and that is the path to liberation from all miseries. Otherwise, again and again, we have to suffer these things. Those who are in old age, they know about this disease, all the time disease. When you are young, then you enjoy, you don't think anything. But old people, they know disease all the time. So it is grace of Krishna to let us know, do you want this again and again? You want this, or you want to come to me? Again, you will have to go to school. Again, you will have to study, and again you will have to do job till you come to pension. Again, you will have to all this. You want this, or you want to come to me. You belong to me. You forgot me. That is the problem. Separate interest. For that reason, you have to suffer all these things. So we have to submit to Krishna. Then we can see him. Otherwise, we lose sight of him. And all problems there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told to Sanatana Goswami, this is the reason. So Sadhu Shastra Kripa Jodi Krishna Mukhoy. If by the grace of Shastra and Sadhu you will become inclined to serve Krishna, then you can remove that Maya and you can come to me. Adyo Vatarah Purushah Parasya Kalach Svabhavah Sat Asan Manascha Dravyam Vikaro Guna Indriyani Virat Swarat Stasnu Charishnu Bhumna. It is not that we are absolutely free. We are actually eternal servants of Krishna. It is our duty to serve him. We have relative independence what we want to do, but if we don't serve Krishna, we turn away from him, we want separately to enjoy something, then that is offense to Krishna. So, and by the grace of sadhu, when we come to know that actually Krishna is our eternal master, we have eternal relation with him, or by Shastra. Shastra is like mother, will tell who is your father. when you can understand that I forgot Krishna, he's my eternal master, and I wanted all this, then you will feel ashamed or regretful. You will repent. Why this foolishness? And you will pray for forgiveness for offense, because that is offense. We committed offense. So we will pray. Oi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitang Mang Bishame Bhavamudo Kripaya Tavapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrisham Vichinta. O Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, actually I am your eternal servant, but I forgot you. And I fell into this material world. So out of your causeless mercy, by your mercy, you please forgive my offense and you accept me as your servant. So this verse says, Karanarnavashai Vishnu is the first incarnation of the Supreme Lord, and he is the master of eternal time, space, cause and effects, mind, the elements, the material ego, the modes of nature, the senses, the universal form of the Lord, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and the sum total of all living beings, both moving and non-moving. Arnava, it means ocean. Shai means one who lies down. Karanodakashai or Karanarnavashai is same, only different word. So that is Mahavishnu. He is all this, master of this Maya potency, which creates all these things. And of Virat Rupa, and also he is the cause of Garbhodakashai Vishnu, who enters into all universes. From him Brahma comes, from never. And he is the cause of sum total of all living entities, that is marginal potency of Supreme Lord, Tatashta Shakti, and they, when they become averse to Krishna, they become conditioned, and they are in two positions. They are Jangam or Stavar. Jangam means mobile, those who can move, and those who cannot move, like trees, mountains, they cannot move. But other animals and humans, they can move. That is Jivo, living entity. Jivo word can be used for Atma, transcendental, individual Atma, or it can also refer to conditioned living entity, like in some form, like Jivas, they are mobile or immobile. That is already conditioning there, or human, animal, man, like this. Living entity, but already conditioned. Moving and non-moving is already together with conditioning, because pure Atma is neither moving or non-moving in this material world. It is separate, transcendental. Aham bhavo yagya ime prajesha daksha dayo ye bhavat adayascha swar lokapala khaga lokapala nri lokapala stala lokapala gandharva vidyadhara charanesha ye yaksha raksho raganaganata ye varishinam rishabah pitrinam Daitendra Siddheshwara Danavendra Anya cha ye preta pishacha bhuta kushmanda yado mriga pakshi adisha. Yat kincha loke bhagavan mahasvat, ojah sahasvat balavat kshamavat, Shri Hri Vibhuti Atmavat Adbhutarnam Tattvam Param Rupavat Aswarupam. I myself, means Brahma is speaking to Narad, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, great generators of living beings like Daksha and Prajapati, yourself, means Narad and the Kumaras, heavenly demigods like Indra and Chandra, the leaders of the Bhurloka planets, the leaders of the earthly planets, the leaders of the lower planets, the leaders of the Gandharva planets, the leaders of the Vidyadhara planets, the leaders of the Charanaloka planets, the leaders of the Yakshas, Rakshas and Uragas, the great sages, the great demons, the great atheists and the great spacemen, as well as dead bodies. That is, I think, P3. Hold on a second. No, Preta, dead bodies. Pitrinam is forefathers. Preta, they're like one kind of ghosts. They are dead bodies, evil spirits, Satans. You see, Satans. Special type of evil spirit. Then jinn, I don't know, Kushmandas, great aquatics, great beasts and great birds, etc. In other words, anything and everything which is exceptionally possessed of power, opulence, mental and perceptual dexterity, strength, forgiveness, beauty, modesty, opulence and breeding, whether in form or formless, may appear to be the specific truth and the form of the Lord. But actually they are not so. They are only a fragment of the transcendental potency of the Lord, not Him directly, part of His potency. Atmas are part of marginal potency, Tatashta Shakti, and all material things are material potency, and then they are combined to make this creation according to karma of jivas, and this jiva will wander here in all these 14 planetary systems according to his karma. All results of karma is given by Supreme Lord according to action, and it is for the benefit of all to learn from experience. So we should not be worried, because everything is under control of Krishna and he is all good. He is taking care of everyone. So our business is only, we have to understand this point, that we forgot Krishna, who is our eternal master. We have eternal relation with him, and we wanted to separately enjoy. That is bad. So this we have to cure. We have to remember Krishna, serve him, give up on these things. Otherwise, we will only rotate in these 14 planetary systems and 8,400,000 species, and all the time birth suffering, death suffering, old age suffering, disease suffering. Continuously it is repeated. So it is not good, this material existence, and we can never solve it by any amount of any scientific solutions or material solutions or cheating or dominating or whatever. You cannot solve these things. Impossible. No one can do. Only we can transcend, means go out and accept our real self in the real relation with Krishna, in the real relation with all other jivas, in relation to Krishna. Then that is healthy life, pure life and blissful life. So this we have to cure ourselves of this disease. Pradhanyato yan risha amanante lilavataran purushasya bhumnah apiyatam karna kashaya shoshan anukramisheta iman supeshan. O Narada, now I shall state one after another the transcendental incarnations of the Lord known as Lila avatars. Hearing of their activities counteracts all foul matters accumulated in the air. These pastimes are pleasing to hear and are to be relished. Therefore, they are in my heart. We have to be careful what we hear and what we speak. If we are all the time hearing worldly talks and in unrelated to the service of Supreme Lord, then that will only create disturbance all the time. And if we speak something separately, in separate consciousness from Supreme Lord, that will also disturb. And all the time we will be in Maya. So we have to hear from Shastra and pure devotees about Supreme Lord, His name, form, attributes, pastimes, how He does His Leela and how He rescues fallen souls, all this. And we have to speak this. Then we will get remembrance of Krishna. Our Gurudev told, if you always speak about worldly things, in worldly consciousness, pure devotees, they may also speak worldly things, but they are seeing in relation to Krishna, everything, in that pure consciousness. But immediately when we are separated, then our Gurudev told, if you always speak about worldly things, then how Krishna will come to your mind? Can Krishna come to your mind, to your remembrance, all the time hearing worldly things and speaking all the time worldly things? And no wonder we are always disturbed. Because always in Maya, no tinge of Krishna consciousness. But if you hear about Krishna and speak about Him, you will get remembrance of Krishna and you will be released from disturbance and you will go towards Him. And all problems will be solved in this way. So now Brahma is saying, I will tell you. This you have to hear. They are pleasing to hear. And they are always inside my heart. Brahma is realizing, because pure devotee. So pure devotee does not want to speak anything but about Krishna. And he cannot speak anything else. Like fish cannot remain outside of water, that is her life. Like that, pure devotee cannot remain without speaking about Krishna, because everything else is useless talk for him. It is cause of disturbance. No benefit in that. So they don't want to waste time with this all the time, these talks. Next chapter 7, scheduled incarnations with specific functions. Our Gurudev told that we have to be careful with understanding this word incarnation, because according to dictionary, it means incarna. He will enter, like God enters into meat. Like in Christianity, they have God in meat. But avatar word and incarnation are not totally, this type of meaning are not same, because avatar, he descends to this world in his spiritual form. He does not take shelter of any Maic material element or anything like conditioned souls do. We, according to our karma, we have to be conditioned by matter, and then again we incarnate, we enter into meat, and then we go out of the meat and then reincarnate, re-enter into meat according to our karma, and again like this is going on. So Supreme Lord or his pure devotees, they are not like that. They are not under the influence of karma, forced by karma, and they are not entering into meat or going out from the meat. So, of course, Sai Maharaj has realization what is avatar, but there are no other words, so he used this word, but we have to understand properly, as he is also explained in many places what is meant about avatar. Brahmovach. Yatro dyatah kshiti talo dharanaya bhibrat Kroudim tanum sakala yagya mayim anantah antar maharnava upagatam adi daityam tam damshtra yadrim iva vajra dharo dadara. I want to read the commentary of Srila Sai Maharaj to previous verse, then I will read this one. As it was said in the beginning of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, one cannot be fully satisfied by hearing unless and until one is given a chance to hear of the transcendental activities of the Lord. So Brahmaji is also trying in this verse to stress the importance of narrating the transcendental pastimes of the Lord as he comes and manifests himself here on the surface of the material planets. Every living entity has a tendency to hear pleasing messages, and as such, almost every one of us is inclined to hear news and talks broadcast by the radio stations. That was in that time, now only internet and television. But the difficulty is that no one is satisfied at heart by hearing all those messages. Only disturbance is coming. The cause of such dissatisfaction is the incompatibility of the message with the innermost stratum of the living soul. They're incompatible, that is matter, and this is spirit. This transcendental literature is especially prepared by Srila Vyasadeva to give the utmost satisfaction to the people in general by narration of the activities of the Lord as instructed by Sri Narada Muni to Srila Vyasadeva. Such activities of the Lord are principally of two varieties. One concerns the mundane manifestation of the material creative force, and the other deals with his pastimes in the form of different incarnations in terms of time and place. There are innumerable incarnations of the Lord, like the waves of the river flowing constantly in and out. Less intelligent persons take more interest in the creative forces of the Lord, in the material world, and being disconnected from their relationship with the Lord, they put forward many theories of the creation in the name of scientific research. The devotees of the Lord, however, know well how the creative forces work concurrently by the action and reaction of the material energy of the Lord. Therefore, they take more interest in the transcendental activities of the Lord as he incarnates himself on the surface of the material world. SRIMAD Bhagavatam is the history of such activities of the Lord, and people who take interest in hearing SRIMAD Bhagavatam clear their hearts of accumulated mundane filth, dirt. There are 1,001 rash literatures on the market, but one who has taken interest in the SRIMAD Bhagavatam loses all interest in such filthy literatures. Sri Brahmaji is thus attempting to narrate the principal incarnations of the Lord so that they may be drunk by Narad as transcendental nectar. That will give you peace of heart when you hear about Supreme Lord. And as we will later know, there are two types of pastimes. Some are not related to this world at all. Directly or indirectly, they are not related to this world. Like in Golok, Vrindavan, that Lila or Vaikuntha. But some pastimes of Supreme Lord are when he comes here to rescue fallen souls, to establish Dharma like this. So this first we have to be well established in these pastimes. We will come to that point. Sai Maharaj will very nicely explain why we have to hear about these pastimes. Our Gurudev also wrote one book, Dasavatar, narrating how Supreme Lord Dasavatar in 10 manifestations, how he descends, what are his pastimes, that is necessary to hear. Then, when we will purify our heart, then we can hear about those principles. Sai Maharaj will explain nicely, we'll come to that. So here, Lord Brahma said, when the unlimitedly powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar as a pastime, just to leave the planet Earth, which was drowned in the great ocean of the universe called the Garbhodaka, the first demon, Hiranyaksha, appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. As we know, this Varaha avatar comes 2 times in one day of Brahma. In the beginning of creation, he only rescues the earth because Brahma wants to create, but at that time there are no demons or demigods because they will come after from Diti and Aditi. So how that so it happened again later in one Manvantar that Hiranyaksha was already there. So again earth sank into Rasata, means down, and when Varaha Bhagavan lifted her up, that time Hiranyaksha opposed, because demons, they always oppose what is good. They always want to do nonsense. Anything good, they will want to oppose. What is not beneficial, they like. What is beneficial, they don't like. but Supreme Lord killed him for the benefit of all. That Hiranyaksha, Hiranya means gold, Aksha means eyes. So Hiranyakashipu means desire for wealth and for sexual enjoyment and for name and fame, Hiranyakashipu. And Hiranyaksha is more, emphasis is on always looking for gold, very greedy for gold. So for that, conditioned souls, due to that greed, they are ready to do anything, to harm others, to cheat, everything, they are ready, just to get that. Always their eye is for looking for gold, more and more, wealth, because they think then I can be happy. It doesn't matter, others are suffering, that is no problem, but if I will get, then I can be happy. But that is illusion. There are so many rich people, if you ask them, they are not happy. They are also taking sleeping pills due to so much worries, and committing suicides, taking drugs, all these things. So that is illusion. We think by getting money we will be happy. Jato rucher ajanayat suyaman suyagya akuti sunur amaran atha dakshinayam lokatrayasya mahatim aharat yat artim swayambhuvena manuna harir iti anuktah. Our Gurudev gave that example of Queen of Jaipur. They came to Mayapur when during the time of Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when Mayapur just started to become famous, again recovered as Dham. So there was no good road. So for that queen and that staff, they rolled the velvet from Ganga Ghat. They rolled velvet because there were no vehicles, nothing. So they were walking, but on velvet. So rich and so many. But she submitted to Prabhupada. In private, she wanted to speak with him. She said, I am not happy. I'm thinking to commit suicide. Because I know that committing suicide is not good. That is why I'm not doing. But I'm not happy and suffering. So I came here. I am praying for your blessing. You please give me this blessing that I shall never be again born in a royal family. I think that street beggar is more happy than me. What I have to undergo. So many these sufferings. So you please bless me, she prayed. That is total illusion that by being more and more rich means you are more and more happy. That is illusion by Maya. Then here the Prajapati first begot Suyagya in the womb of his wife Akuti, and then Suyagya begot demigods headed by Suyama in the womb of his wife Dakshina. Suyagya as the Indradev diminished very great misery in the three-planetary systems, upper, lower and intermediate, and because he so diminished the miseries of the universe, he was later called Hari by the great father of mankind, namely Swayambhuva Manu. Jagye cha Kardama Grihe Dvija Devahutyam Stribih Samam